Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing today? It is foggy and smoky. I guess I thought the smoke deal was over from Canada, but it looks like it's not. So, I think it's beautiful blue sky up there. But can't tell because you can see the sun, but it's got a pretty solid layer of smoke in front of it. Anyway, I digress. So I came out this morning and I stuck to my guns. I said for 2 days now, I want to fish shallow weeds, either or both. I wanted to throw the hammer harness and I put a new video out last night about a brief talk about the hammer harness. My GoPro's acting up this morning. I got to reformat my SD card. Something's wrong with it. It keeps shutting off. Anyway, so I wanted to stay shallow and I wanted to fish the hammer rig and I wanted to fish jerkbaits. I have done both of that this morning with limited success, though it was a fun morning and there was a couple cool things that happened. I caught a nice largemouth on the jerkbait. I wasn't looking for largemouth. I mean, it's a weed bed. They could live in there. I was looking for a walleye or even a smallmouth. I didn't expect largemouth, but he whacked the snot out of it. Not anything big, pound and a half maybe. And I've been throwing the hammer harness all, on and off. I've been switching back and forth between the two rods. One's got a jerkbait on it. Ooh. And one's got a hammer harness on it. When you fish in here, if you get frustrated by picking weeds off your lures every time, stay deep because it is every time. It is an anomaly to get your presentation back without it being covered in weeds. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes you can slip it through certain spots. Right now, where I'm fishing, I'm on the deep side of this weed bed. It's 14 feet. But you're on the outside edge, and there is a lot of pockets out here. The weed line is very irregular. There'd be a big clump, and then nothing, and then a big clump. Some of the big clumps, you can see the tops breaking the surface. I'm typically looking for those tops and I'm casting along either edge of it. So I bring it along the side of it or near it, sometimes through it. But the most success I've had has been bringing it alongside, actively seeing that and thinking, oh, well, if there's one in it, he'll come out of it. So I had 2 different places this morning. I had fish all over the surface, and I started throwing a topwater until I got a real good look at them, and they were gar of all sizes. You could see their beaks coming up out of the water like this. Another thing I will say to you, I caught a giant perch, 11 inches on a jerkbait. Wasn't what I expected. I thought for sure it was a walleye. The shallow weed beds right now are full. I'm snagging them on my jerkbait perch about that big, maybe 1.5 to 3 inches. And man, are they everywhere. So I have got to imagine that everything in here that's in these weed beds are eating perch. I know they are. It's not like I'm saying something that we all don't know. Boy, there's a lot of food in here. And every weed bed I've been in today, it's been the same thing. It's happened in all 3 of them. So, pretty interesting morning. Like I say, I needed to give my jigging arm a little bit of a rest. And I really want to get this shallow water program a little more dialed in, where I'm going out with confidence and I have some spots, some weed beds that produce. It's still a learning curve. It's a work in progress. I don't fish these shallow weeds very often, and now I've got two new techniques, not new, but two new techniques that half this lake is covered in weed beds, all the way out to some places 17, 18 feet. I spent a lot of time avoiding the weed beds at all costs, unless I was specifically looking for largemouth, like flipping weed beds. This is nice. It allows you to do something different. Still trying to be successful, really successful at these techniques, and part of that, I think, is just location. I don't know, when you're out jigging, you have an open water and you have a school of fish out there. I don't know how the schooling is in these weeds, to be honest with you. I mean, sometimes you can sneak them through the weeds and sometimes you can't. And that time I couldn't. You could feel it grab it, but all this stringy stuff out here is really a pain. So I put up a new video last night talking about the hammer rig that I'm throwing right at the moment. I put my jerkbait rod away just before I started the video. So if you please go over and check it out. If you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe. I appreciate everybody, and I really want to remind everybody that it matters to me if you subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps me tremendously. It gives me that desire to keep right on rolling. Yeah, the desire's in it there anyway. But let's call one last cast after I untangle my stuff. All right, there's a big weed pocket right there. I'm going to go right along it. I have a feeling I threw my gulp leech off, but such is life. Quite honestly, Brian Hammond, who owns B Hammer Tackle, him and I have talked about it before. Boy, I think that this is an effective setup, and I don't even know if you need to put a worm on it or a plastic or anything else for that matter. I think that little blade slipping through the weeds is all you need. I did. I casted my gulp leech right straight off it. Well, that seems like a silly way to end it. I'll do one last cast with a jerkbait. I've been throwing those Mega Bass 110s, and I didn't get bit this morning with it. This is the Rapallo Shadow Wrap Deep Diver, but it's purple. This purplescent is my favorite Rapallo color that they make in any hard bait. And that's what that largemouth ate this morning. Do a little cadence here. I'm not saying that this is the right cadence. This is just my cadence. Wind today has been light from the get-go, out of the west-northwest. It's a nice drift. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a big top of weeds right here. And then it's deep around it, and then there's a few more over there. I'm just trying to go through from clump to clump. All right. Last. This JT Rod's Black Rain 7.3 set up as a casting, as a bait caster. I love this rod. I wish that wasn't weeds. But it is. About 15 feet long too, holy crap. Bet you it's 14 because that's how much water we're in. All right, well, last didn't work, so I'm going in. You guys have a great day. It's Thursday. We're right around the corner. We're on the very verge of a long holiday weekend. I kind of like the 4th being on Tuesday because it just seems silly to work Monday and take Tuesday off. So I think I'm going to take Monday off too. Boat parade on Monday in the Oneida River. Fireworks in Brewerton Monday night, July 3rd. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep your tip up.